The Jester, full guide and build for the Jester. So what is Jester? Jester is the only class in a game with high mobility. When I say high mobility, I mean it. It's valid from rank 1 to rank 4. It doesn't matter where he is, he always has something to play and something to do. He is also the only character in the game that can combo enemies from every freaking position, and that means the teammates will be stronger. He also provides the best stress heal in the game. He also provides insane crits, so Jester is an all-around beast. I loved Jester in Darkest Dungeon 1 and he is equally as good in Darkest Dungeon 2. There is no successful run, no great team without a Jester. His first skill, basic attack, is Razor's Wit. Razor's Wit has a solid crit chance, deals solid damage, puts him one step forward, and once upgraded, it gives him dodge. Jester likes to dodge a lot, nearly all skills provide dodge, by the way. This is an extremely useful skill and it works on all three subclasses of Jester: Intermezzo, Virtuoso, and Soloist. Same what I said for Razor's Wit, I can say for Fade to Black, only this moves him backwards, and it blinds enemies. Once upgraded, it again puts a combo skull on enemies so your teammates can hurt more. Again, valid on Virtuoso, Soloist, and Intermezzo. Slice off, Jester remains in one spot, but he bleeds enemies. Once upgraded, he makes them vulnerable. This one is the best on Soloist. It's valid on all subclasses, both Virtuoso and Intermezzo, but it's definitely the best one to play on Soloist. When it says Soloist here instead of Intermezzo, that's when you play with a slice off. Battle Ballad. Okay, this one, again, it's completely valid on all three subclasses, Virtuoso, Soloist, and Intermezzo, but the best one is definitely Intermezzo. Why? Because he bleeds teammates when he gives them damage and crit, alright? Now someone will say how that's bad. It ain't bad at all when you bleed teammates, because if you pair Jester up, okay, with Plague Doctor or with Runaway, they can heal while your characters are bleeding, so Jester literally prepares them with damage and bleeding to be able to deal more damage and to be able to heal from other characters. It's a tricky skill, best one on Intermezzo, again, but basically it's valid on all classes too. Inspiring Tune, absolutely valid on all three subclasses, Virtuoso, Soloist, and Intermezzo. There's nothing to say here. Once upgraded, it removes 3 stress. It's extremely important to have this on a Jester, no matter the subclass. Harvest. It's only valid on Soloist when it comes Soloist here instead of Intermezzo. So Harvest bleeds enemies, okay? It bleeds 2 enemies at once. Paired with a slice off, you can bleed enemies a lot, especially when you play a Soloist. Finale, best freaking skill from Jester, if you ask me. Of course, it goes in combo with Solo, but what Finale does, it hurts, okay? It hurts like crazy. It debuffs Jester, but in return, it really hurts a lot. It's valid on all 3 subclasses, but the best one that profits the most out of Finale is definitely Intermezzo. You cannot play with Finale without Solo. Once you start from position 3 or 4, you run in with Solo, you give yourself speed and dodge, and you prepare yourself for Finale. Solo, while your Intermezzo subclass will also bleed enemies, the one that you mark, and then you're gonna finish them off with Finale and put Jester on spot number 4. This is the best combo that exists on a Jester. This too, it's completely valid on Virtuoso, Soloist, and Intermezzo, but the best one to play is with Intermezzo. Play Out is only valid on Intermezzo, but I would definitely skip because there are better spells. I believe this one requires full rework, okay? Play Out. Right now it's the most useless skill from Jester. Encore. Okay, this is valid on all 3 subclasses of Jester, Virtuoso, Soloist, and Intermezzo, but you really need to have a good team for this to work, okay, because it gives extra action to a character. So for example, if you stacked up critical, 100% critical chance on a Leper or on a Highwayman, on someone that actually hurts, or on a Hellion, and if you give them extra action, you can really nuke down enemies, but you need specific teams for this to work. Jester on its own does not profit out of Encore. It's actually a huge debuff for him. Echoing March, there are characters that do pulls better than Jester, okay, but this is a persistent pull, which you're gonna pull enemies non-stop once you mark them. I do not find the spell useful, okay, if it had some damage, then I would say how it's useful, but because there is no damage on this spell, there are characters that do it better than Jester. So I would say that once you decide to play a Jester, you avoid Echoing March and play out, because you can really make perfect builds with other skills that are far more useful than these two. I believe these two require a rework. How do we play Intermezzo? The skills you see here are those for Intermezzo. There are few openings. If your party is stressed, you're gonna stress heal. If there is a big fellow over there in the enemies that you want to blind, okay, and go backwards. After that, you're gonna use solo, mark him, and then use finale on him, okay. If there is someone to collect with low HP, you can always use Razor's Wealth. That's about it. Intermezzo is very simple to play, and it provides so freaking much, okay. It has tons of combos, it has blind, it has huge crits, it has dodge, and he's got stress heal. This is the best composition that you can make for Intermezzo. There is no replacement for a single spell here. If it says Soloist instead of Intermezzo, this is the build that you want to play. The only thing that you can reconsider is removing Encore and adding Razor's Wit. So this is your personal choice between these two. Alright. Also, what you can consider when playing Soloist is to remove Fate to Black and go with Finale and Solo. So this is one combo. Alright, this is a Bleed Jester, and the skills that you're gonna use most are Slice Off and Harvest. In combination with correct items, it's a non-stop bleed, and this is a tanky, unmovable Jester. Alright, bleeder. So there are 3 combinations for Soloist instead of Intermezzo. This 5, this, and this. How you open up, it's completely up to you, whether you want to bleed enemies, whether you want to remove stress, alright, or you want to blind them, or you want to be aggressive with solo and finale. But I would say, because this is a bleed Jester, that the best opening is probably to have some crits on some other companion like Leper or Helion, give them Encore, and then start bleeding enemies. Now, if it says Virtuoso instead of Intermezzo here, the last subclass for a Jester, both builds that I gave for Intermezzo and Soloist are valid on Virtuoso. What is the difference of Virtuoso? Virtuoso, as his passive skill, provides stress resist to the entire team. And in those terms, your party will always be sane. They never gonna get stressed when you play Virtuoso. But you're gonna lose some damage, you're gonna lose some utility from the Jester. All the builds I gave for the Jester are completely valid on Virtuoso. The only difference is the passive. Are hero shrines and upgrades important for the Jester? Yes, they freaking are. There is no playing with a Jester without all upgrades, especially without Finale, without Solo, okay? You just need to go for those hero shrines and upgrade the Jester. There is no other way. So how do we play Jester? Jester is valid from position 1 to position 4. It doesn't matter where he starts. But what I noticed after 80 hours of playing is that his favorite position, and definitely the best opening position, would be spot number 3. I placed him at 4 because it doesn't matter for this presentation here. How you open up? If someone's stressed, you're gonna stress heal. Okay. If there's a big guy over here instead of these 2 idiots, you're gonna use Fate to Black to blind him. Okay, if you got some good damage dealer with a combo as a Leper or someone like that, you're gonna use Razor's Wit to mark them with a blue skull. If you want to hurt, you're gonna go in with solo, you're gonna dodge, and you're gonna wait for your turn because you're gonna play first once the first round ends, and you're gonna nuke them out with finale, and after that you repeat the combo. Inspiring tune, blind, combo, solo, finale. That's for Intermezzo, that's for Virtuoso, that's for Soloist. Okay, Soloist, you can make a bleed build that I told you, and then it changes to slice off enemies, bleed them, and that's about it. That's the entire difference. Virtuoso as a class can be played as both, as I said, but the main difference would be passive stress resist. Your party wouldn't be stressed now if this was Virtuoso. Now Jester plays first because of the solo, and finale deals insane amount of damage. What are the good trinkets for a Leper? The first one would be Busker's Hole. This one is absolutely huge for a Leper if you can get it. Why? Because it gives positive token to allies on a turn end. Because when you use solo, you're gonna have 100% crit. And that means finale will hurt like crazy. That damage can rack up to 50, 60 if buffed well, if not even above. This is probably the best item on the Jester. The next good trinket is of course Clarifying Carcanet, but it's tricky to get 75, above 75 relics and bubbles, gives flat health and flat damage. Jester profits a lot out of it, especially Soloist and Intermezzo. Nautical Compass, absolutely crazy on a Jester. Snappy Swig, crazy good on a Jester, because Jester is fast, he's usually gonna have speed above and equals 8, so that means he can receive 50% chance to be 100% crit on his next attack. Very good. One of the best trinkets on a Jester is also Celebrated Chalice. It gives speed, it gives crit, it's just absolutely insane. It's not hard to keep relics and bubbles above 50. Now, Smoldering Hymnal is very interesting on a Jester because Jester is usually the first one that plays in a round, and when he plays first, he gets damage, alright? Combined with that solo that gives crit when you use finale, it also has a chance to give him extra action, and Jester that can place twice with upgraded damage and crits is a scary Jester. This trinket is absolutely insane on him also. This is a playout trinket. I said that playout sucks. It's only good when you find this specific trinket because it can destroy a negative token, okay? And that's the only time that you should use playout. Other than that, it really sucks. How do you play this? You play it with a playout, you go solo, finale, playout, okay? And then when you move positions, you get a chance to get a crit. Now, Enlightening Element is extremely good on a Jester. There's a chance they're gonna burn enemies when you hit them, and it's gonna give him dodge when his speed is above 8. His speed is usually above 8, so this is a very good trinket on a Jester. Flat Stress Resist trinket like Greater Gilded Mind is very good on a Jester too, if there's nothing else to put. Same can be said with Greater Anchoring Charm and Greater Sacrificial Host. And absolutely the same can be said about Greater Hail Drought and Greater Cleansing Sensor, but I believe that tanks profit more out of it than actually Jester. Same can be said about Greater Bouncer's Belt. Greater Sharpness Charm, flat damage on a Jester is great when you use Finale. It raises its damage. This is how you hurt. Now Greater Heartseeker, it can proc crit on Finale. It's absolutely crazy on a Jester. Now this one is for Soloist Jester, Severed Finger. This is how you bleed enemies even more and you deal more damage to the bleeding enemies. It's only good on Soloist when you play with bleed skills. But Stressing Band can be good on a Jester during map 1 and 2 if you can get this one. And this one is absolutely insane on a Jester too. It gives him dodge when moving, and Jester moves non-stop on a map, so consider taking this as soon as you can. Greater Wolf's Blood Jester is mega fast. He's gonna be even faster with this. Very good trinket on a Jester. You wanna bolster your allies even more. Hastening History is absolutely great on a Jester. Now what about base trinkets on a Jester? Basically every low tier trinket that's gonna give crit chance, speed, and damage is valid on a Jester. Things that you can also consider early on is flat stress resist on a Jester. That's about it. No matter what you do, do not equip trinkets that's gonna lower his damage or crit chance. That's a bad move. Respite and items for Jester when you're in the inn. What you need to put on a Jester is damage, crit chance, speed, buff health, and that's about it. He's good to go. He doesn't need stealth, he needs dodge, he needs speed, he needs damage, he needs crit. Simple as that. Mastery Trainer for Jester. If you play as Intermezzo, you need to upgrade every freaking skill, and it's extremely important. The first one that you should always upgrade is Finale. After that it should be Solo, after that it should be Inspiring Tune, and then you upgrade Fade to Black and Razor's Wet. In that order. If you play as a Soloist, Bleeding Jester, you will need to upgrade Harvest and Slice Off. If you play as a Virtuoso Supporting Jester, the thing that you should upgrade first should be Inspiring Tune and Encore. That's basically everything there is about the Jester. I believe that he's one of the strongest characters in the game. He's extremely fun to play with. There is no good team without a good Jester. I hope you have fun with him. I thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.